So before we begin this session today, two important questions that came up. Let's first just try and see what do we have about them. So Ashwini, as you were saying, कि जैसा वेदांत बोलता है या अध्यात्म में कहता है कि अहंकार ही नहीं बचता है तो हर्ट होने का प्रश्न नहीं होता है, आहत होने का प्रश्न नहीं होता है. But that looks as an ideal and intellectually we understand, we resonate. लेकिन वहां तक पहुंचे कैसे ये समझ नहीं आता है. And that looks very far off and that kind of looks more utopian than a reality. Is this your question?
Correct.
Fine. So it is like this. Himalayas exist. Indian Ocean exists. I do not know how to reach. We have heard a lot about Himalayas and that sounds so beautiful. There is a possibility to reach, but that needs preparation. If you want to climb the Everest or even the lower mountains, you will have to prepare yourself. You need to prepare yourself for the climate. You need to be physically that fit. You need to be mentally that fit and all that. And once you are ready, then you start to climb baby step under some guidance. This exactly is how it also functions in the Adhyatmic sphere. Not because there is not a possibility to reach there immediately, but because since we all carry these tendencies, the aham vritti and the various other vrittis, that does not allow us to move ahead so fast. That has a force, and we haven't yet learned to dissociate ourselves from that. We haven't yet become the masters of that. So all of that is a preparation. All of that is a preparation. This is why for the ones who have not reached, you can try various modalities, various support systems that can help you reach there faster, that can bridge the gap, that can create some shortcuts, that can accelerate your journey. So even if you are taking help of some inner child, Reiki, access consciousness, there are so many, different types of healing, and even things like astrology. But with that perspective, it's fine. Once you reach there, you will not need any of those. But till the time you haven't reached, those supports does help us. But at the same time, please be conscious that they do not become your crutches. You do not become dependent on them that, oh my God, without a session on EFT, I can't survive. Oh my God, without healing, I can't work. The idea is finally to go beyond. So just see how faster this happens for you. We all will move on with different speed based on how much are we able to conquer our situations. Rather, conquer is not the right word, but how much are we able to detach ourselves from the situation and be the master of that the situation outside is not really able to move us, shake us. And more that will happen, easier it will be for you to move ahead. So you are actually building muscles with every step.
But the struggle is, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know whether I'm on the path.
The only test is it unburdening? Is it little relaxing? Is it making you heavier or lighter? If it is making you lighter, if it is helping you to let go a lot, if it is helping you to be able to look at things from a broader picture, if it is helping you to connect with people despite who they are in terms of their personalities, you are in the right direction. That's the only litmus test. Do not look for somebody's validation on this. Just see how your mind is. Is your mind is equally calculative, or the calculations are going down? Is your mind still equally restless, or is the restlessness going down? Is your mind still equally contemplative, or is it going down? And when these things start to happen, you know that you are on the right path. Right?
Thank you.
Anything else related to this?
हाँ मतलब ये basically ये कि this I struggle with a lot. कि I want to, for example, very practical scenario. I don't like somebody for something that happened. So the ideal is what? He's also God's child. I'm also God's child. I should be unconditional. I should love everybody in compassion. But that person doesn't respect me.
There
And
is
I may
this
have
very
to meet.
interesting episode. How many of you have heard of Upanishad Ganga? याद है किसी को? बहुत पहले आया करता था दूरदर्शन पर. चिन्मया मिशन ने बनाया था ये. बहुत ही सुंदर एपिसोड्स हैं बेस्ड ऑन दी उपनिषदिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग. उसका आई थिंक एपिसोड नंबर तो मुझे नहीं याद है, बट वन ऑफ द एपिसोड हैज अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल स्टोरी वेयर इन व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, एक आदमी जो है वो उसको हाथी कुचल देता है. तो वो किसी तरीके से कराते हुए अपने गुरु के पास आता है. गुरु कहता है क्या हुआ, तुम्हारी ये हालत कैसे हुई? तो उसने कहा कि गुरुदेव, सब कह रहे थे कि हाथी पगला गया है, भागो भागो, पर हम तो ये जानते हैं ना कि हम में भी ईश्वर है और हाथी में भी ईश्वर है. तो हाथी का ईश्वर मेरे ईश्वर को पहचानेगा ना, तो इसलिए मैं हाथी से डरा नहीं. और जब वो मेरे सामने आया तो उसने मुझे अपनी पूंछ में लपेटा और मुझे फेंक दिया. तो गुरु ने कहा तो महावत ईश्वर नहीं है क्या? उसका ईश्वर क्यों नहीं दिखाई दिया? जो बाकी लोग कह रहे थे भागो, उनमें ईश्वर नहीं है क्या? उनका ईश्वर क्यों नहीं दिखाई दिया? So seeing the godliness in others does not mean that you allow others to treat you in a doormat fashion. No, that nobody gets the right to. I know there is an ईश्वर तत्व in everybody, और आपकी स्थिति देख के मुझे समझ में आता है how much pains you are. God bless you. But this is the boundary. I will not take shit. That is never to be taken. Please never surrender. I mean, surrender to whom? Surrendering to the petty personalities. उनको पता है क्या कि वो गॉड है? उनमें कुछ ऐसा बिहेवियरल ट्रेट दिखता है क्या? वो तो वृत्तियों के दास हैं. They are slaves of their senses and their minds. The God element is there, but is it manifesting enough? Is it even manifesting? It is not. So I do not surrender to such personality. I surrender to that.
ठीक है.
ठीक है? So please don't allow anybody to treat you in a doormat fashion. Being tolerant is good. Don't exceed the limit that others take you for granted. Otherwise, your mind will be shaken left, right, center, and you will be more in that contemplation than contemplation of God. मनन चिंतन का जो पूरा विषय है वो ही बदल जाएगा. हाँ विश्वास जी.
Yes.
So you would like to share that? Where did you get that? And what's the idea behind? So there was this poster that
Oh,
he
that,
shared.
right. So
Yeah.
I was just expressing my mind on that thought.
It said that happiness is equal to, what did it say?
I
Less number
I
of
have it.
desires. You have
Number
it?
of desires fulfilled upon total number of desires.
Happiness is equal to number of desires fulfilled upon total number of desires. Yesterday, I was with some people, and this exactly has come up. Somebody has quoted this. That's why yesterday my attention went into that quote.
Okay.
And we had just one line contemplation there. We moved on, but I was also wondering about it. It logically looks very true that number of desires fulfilled upon number of desires is happiness questioned. So if I've got 10 desires and 6 are fulfilled, my happiness quotient is 60%. If I've got 5 desires and 5 are fulfilled, my happiness is 100%. And so it
That's nice.
argues that how lovely it would be if your desires become 0, then your happiness quotient will be infinity. So logically, it looks very, I
No,
don't
it
know,
will not become
attractive.
infinite. It will
Huh.
remain zero. It will remain
It will
zero
remain.
mathematically.
Okay, sorry.
Because the
Okay.
denominator is zero, the numerator can never be greater than zero.
मेरी मैथ खराब हो गई है. 1/0 is infinity, na?
Well,
Or
it
0 by
cannot become one, no? It cannot become one
ठीक है.
because the numerator will always be lesser than or equal to denominator. But in this
Okay.
case, because they are related, right? Number of desires
Hmm.
fulfilled
Oh,
upon total number. So if your total desires are zero, out of them, how many got fulfilled cannot be greater than zero.
yeah.
So you
So the
can't reach
happiness quotient
infinite.
is very high. So as
That's
desires,
math, but
that's math. The interesting part in that is the number of desires never gets to 0. That's one. Secondly, more desires gets fulfilled, more desires also gets
born.
breeded. It's
Correct. They
desires
get
breed
born more
desires.
and more. Yeah.
Yeah.
It breeds more. Right.
The second part of it is, which is interesting, is, and we have been talking about it quite a lot, that the challenge is not about the desire. The desire is a motive that keeps us going. The challenge is
It's like
about what is the desire. And we have always said that the moment your desire becomes God or self-realization, see, again, coming back to our worldly life, and time and again we have discussed this. From the very beginning, we are always talking of becoming. Because what we are, as we know ourselves, is not sufficient. Right? From the childhood, बड़े होके क्या बनना चाहते हो? जैसे अभी मैं जो हूं वो पर्याप्त नहीं है. That is not sufficient. तो बड़े होके क्या बनना चाहते हो, और फिर बड़े होने के बाद जो बनते हैं उसके बाद भी और क्या बनना है और क्या बनना है, और वो चलता रहता है. That never stops. It's a never ending game. That is very clearly telling us that there is something in us which wants to expand. Until the time I do not know that expanded self, I am not at peace with myself. I don't feel okay being who I am. So there is this desire of expansion, which is where from finally Aham Brahmasmi manifests. The moment this desire is metamorphized or transformed into the desire of knowing who am I, desire of realizing, I thought I am this, but no, I really want to know who am I. The moment that happens, then something different manifests. So in our parlance, some or the other desire will always function till the time we have reached that state, or we have experienced that state wherein nirvikalpa samadhi and those things. जीवात्मा के पास तो कुछ ना कुछ कामना रहती है, तो इसीलिए कामना ईश्वर की हो जाए. And that's why we always say na that कर्म योग में it's possible that almost every, not every, but many of the activities that we engage ourselves in, we can convert it into activity which is being done for God realization, for the motive of service, and not for the motive of some result. जैसे याद है उस दिन हम बात कर रहे थे और मैंने कहा था कि कबीर कपड़ा बुनते थे और हमेशा ये कहते थे कि मेरे ग्राहक जो है वो राम है मेरे. कभी हमने ये नहीं सुना कि उन्होंने ये सोचा है कि अरे कपड़ा इतना अच्छा बुन के तैयार हुआ है, इसको मैं कितने में बेचूंगा, इससे कितना पैसा आएगा. That was never his motive. The motive was very simple. This what I am doing is for Ram, which is his Nirgun Ram, not the deity Ram that we talk of, the avatar Ram. No, not that, but the Nirgun Ram. So that was a word he gave to the Nirgun God that he had been talking of all the time. So, and every customer for him represented that Nirgun Ram, which is the Brahman. So he never did the bunai with any feeling of इस ग्राहक ने मुझे चीट कर लिया, इतनी मेहनत से बुनो फिर भी ये पैसा नहीं देना चाहते हैं. Nothing of that sort. Those were not his thoughts, and he was very happy doing whatever he was doing. That's why.
So just a few minutes back, you were talking about don't let people take undue advantage of you. And then, now about, giving, say, a service or a product and then, not expecting anything back. So there is some contradiction in both these because you don't know how do you draw that line, when, where. And if you started doing something in anticipation of reward, uh, then you should chase it. If you started without the expectation of reward, then anyway it doesn't matter.
What matters is the quality of work that I produce, my involvement with that work, and that's what creates a quality in me. Now, in our corporate scenario, for example, if you talk about it, and I can understand, obviously, Kabir's grahak were not like our corporates. So somewhere in corporates, then you will have to draw the line because you have to understand the psychology that those people are also coming from. We do not live in a situation, in an environment wherein we can just keep treating them as Nirgun Ram and just keep doing, and whatever comes, I'm happily taking. That is very challenging. This is why it becomes very important to see what kind of work one is engaged in. But being wise, whatever work I am doing, let me at least not take the nonsense carrying within myself. So meeting होगी, हंगामे होंगे, बॉस कभी अब्यूजिव भी होगा, सुपरवाइजर कभी मुझे जो मैंने किया है, somebody else would like to take credit also. I will do everything to safeguard that because मैं गधा नहीं हूँ. We say that शिव भोले हैं, बेवकूफ नहीं हैं. So I understand, but that doesn't mean that I am an idiot. So in the world, I can be super worldly. In the world, I can be super worldly and yet untouched by it. तो जब मुझे बाजार जाना है तो मुझे पता है कि वहां मोल भाव होता है तो मैं मोल भाव भी कर लूंगी. But I'll not carry all that with me. कि यार मैं तो मोल भाव में बहुत अच्छी हूँ, यार उसने 2 रुपए नहीं छोड़े, यार and I felt disrespected. वो सब नॉनसेंस नहीं होगा.
So, I mean,
So
those
when
things don't become your identity.
yeah,
That's
they don't
those
become
things
your
are
identity.
at the moment. They are the now, and you deal with your now, and then it's over.
Then it's over. So Ajarji always used to say that spirituality is ultimate intelligence. It's not stupidity. So why? Because when you start to understand how mind plays games, you also start to understand how the other person is perceiving you, what games their minds are probably playing, and you hence are very cautious. Then you can actually choose, do I even want to work with this person? And if I'm working with that person, I know what I should expect and I know how to draw the line without fear. And I also know how to present and communicate. And I also know the role play stuff, no? So I can be part of Leela. This is my part, let me do it well. But the point is, I'll remain untouched. That's why for beginners, cleaner the environment you can create for yourself, better it is. But then when it is not possible, being conscious and aware every moment of what's happening and how am I behaving and how am I taking it all and how am I not taking it all, what's my attachment questioned, then those things matter a lot. क्योंकि हफ्ते में 5 दिन 6 दिन आप काजल की कोठरी में जा रहे हैं तो गंदे तो होके ही आएंगे. तो कैसे आप उसके ऊपर अपने आप को मैनेवर करें कि वो काली खाप लेके नहीं आते हैं.
वो ना एक आई हैव ऑलवेज फेल्ट अ सॉर्ट ऑफ एग्जॉशन कि मेरे ये आइडियल्स हैं और वो आइडियल्स बाकी आई एम नॉट एबल टू फाइंड दैट. तो आई विल समहाउ ट्राई एंड स्ट्रगल एंड वो अगर जो एपिसोड खत्म हो जाता है ना तो आई फील एग्जॉस्टेड और फिर मेरे को लगता है यार इट वाज नॉट वर्थ इट. बट तो वो आई मीन
Expectations.
हाँ
You have expectations.
करेक्ट करेक्ट कि वो लोग भी उस पे अचीव मतलब they will be at the same ideal level that I want. Yeah.
Expectations
ऐसा नहीं
should be
होता.
from yourself.
I was talking to one of the trainers and he was very upset because after a lot of negotiations once for months that training happened and then those people they were saying that the training went well but they were not very happy with the way training happened. They thought they could have achieved more from it. So the feedback did not come as good as it should have. And the trainer was upset and is talking to me. So then I said that training हो गया ना, अभी वहीं रहना है या उसके आगे आना है. Don't you know how this entire game plays? उनको बोलना है ना, they have to show that, see, we expected a lot. Where will their importance come? If you will not try and convince them and tell them, no, we did that and we did that. And you kind of console, okay, next time I'll take care of this and that. How will their ego be happy? How will their identity be happy? But you be aware that oh, game chalta वैसे ही रहता है. So it's okay. World doesn't stop there. You will get more assignments than many other companies. So we tend to pick this up very strongly. Yeah. Anything else? Then let's proceed to the next verse. Okay. We were in chapter 6 और हमने 23 तक किया था और हमने देखा था कि कृष्ण कहते हैं कि जिसे ये मिल जाता है, जिसे ये गेन हो जाता है, यम लब्ध्वा, वो इससे ज्यादा किसी भी और चीज को महत्व नहीं देता. बिकॉज दिस इज ऑफ द हाईएस्ट इंपॉर्टेंस. इससे ज्यादा महत्व किसी भी और चीज को वो नहीं देता है. और कितना भी बड़ा दुख हो, किंतु वो दुख ऐसे व्यक्ति को नहीं हिला पाता है. और दुख के साथ जो संयोग होता है हमारा वो उसके साथ नहीं रहता है, उस संयोग से उसका वियोग हो जाता है. That is what, and then he said how it should be practiced, which was with perseverance, undisturbed, and with disturbed by depression of heart. So even if I haven't reached, I'm in the process, I can't see what's happening, I still move ahead with faith. So now the 24th. संकल्प प्रभावान कामान त्याक्त्वा सर्वान शेषतः मन सैवेन्द्रिय ग्रामम विनयम्य समन्ततः. संकल्प प्रभावान, संकल्प के प्रभाव से उत्पन्न होने वाला, अराइजिंग फ्रॉम वोल्स, कामान डिजायर्स, त्यक्त्वा उसको त्याग करके, सर्वान शेषत अशेषतः, sarvan is all and asheshata is from the roots, so from the very bottom of it. Manasa, so by mind. Manasava indriya gramam, so manasa eva indriya gramam. So indriya gramam is a group of indriyon ka samuh. Viniyamya, restraining completely. Samantataha, from samantata is from all the sides. So completely abandoning from the roots, from the all desires that arise out of woes, that take birth out of woes, by mind only. So the medium, the tool that you use is the mind, restraining all the group of senses from all direction. So what he's asking us to do, he's saying that, let's see what the Hindi translation says. संकल्प से उत्पन्न होने वाली संपूर्ण कामनाओं का निशेष रूप से त्याग कर और मन के द्वारा इंद्रियों के समुदाय को सभी ओर से भली भांति रोककर. It makes sense to take the next shloka along with also, and then we will look at both of them. Shanah रूप मेद बुद्ध्या धृति गृहीतया आत्म संस्थम मनः कृत्वा न किंचिद अपि चिंतयेत. This is 25th. Shana. So doing all that, shana is slowly, gradually, in stages. Uparamet, above mentioned. How? In the above mentioned fashion. Buddhaya, by what tool? So the tool that we have is buddhi. Dhriti grahitya, so with patience and focused intent. Dhriti grahitya means exactly, the word means set in patience. Atma sansatham manah, so मन को आत्मा में स्थित करना है, कृत्वा करके, न किंचित अपि चिंतयेत, थोड़ा सा भी, नो किंचित अपि, थोड़ा सा भी चिंता नहीं करना है, चिंतयेत. So you do not do even a little bit of chinta. So slowly fixing the mind on Atman by patiently putting intellect through above process, one should not worry about anything even slightly. क्रम से अभ्यास करता हुआ उपरति को प्राप्त हो तथा धैर्य युक्त बुद्धि के द्वारा मन को परमात्मा में स्थित करके परमात्मा के सिवा और कुछ भी चिंतन न करें. So this is the process that Krishna is giving. So if you remember the second verse of this chapter itself, Krishna has spoken about giving up all the sankalp. सभी संकल्पों को त्यागना है. And why does he say so? क्योंकि संकल्प के लिए संकल्प करने वाला होना चाहिए। तो जब तक संकल्प करने वाला बचा है तब तक कर्ता बचा हुआ है। और यहाँ तो सारी बात समर्पण की है, यहाँ तो सारी बात कामनाओं के आगे जाने की है। तो इसलिए कहते हैं कृष्ण कि सभी डिजायर्स को, इच्छाओं को त्याग करके, कैसी डिजायर्स को? जो कि हमारे संकल्प से उठती हैं, विच इज ऑल आवर अचीवमेंट मोटिव्स। मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है, दिस गोल, दैट गोल। So there was this very interesting Zen story. The student comes to the Zen master and says कि अगर मैं बहुत मेहनत करूंगा तो मुझे zen प्राप्त करने में कितना समय लगेगा? So the master says 10 years. So the disciple thinks, okay, अगर मैं बहुत 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 मेहनत करूंगा तो मुझे कितना समय लगेगा? Then he says, master says 20 years. Now he's like, हाँ, और अगर मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा मेहनत करूं तो? The master says 30 years. Now he's all baffled. He says, what is this? मैं जितनी ज्यादा मेहनत करूंगा उतना ज्यादा समय लगेगा? So the master says that with your one eye fixed on the goal, you only have half the energy left to pursue your work. And when you do anything with your half energy, not your complete immersion, your total giving up yourself totally into it, you will take even more time to reach that. So you give up all the woes that is arising from your personality, from your mind, from your desires, because कामना तो अहंकार की होती है। And he is saying कि हर को बिल्कुल जड़ मूल से ही हटाना है। कोई ऊपर 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 का सुपरफिशियल ट्रीटमेंट नहीं चाहिए, उनको जड़ से हटाना है। जड़ से हटाने का क्या अर्थ है? आपको वहां जाना पड़ेगा जहां से कामना उठ रही है। आपको ये जानना पड़ेगा कि कामना किसे उठ रही है और क्यों उठ रही है। तो आप पाएंगे कि why is this coming to me? This is coming to me because this identity of mine feels that if this does not happen, this will not happen, and that will not happen, and that will not happen. So then he says, you need to give this concept up. That does not mean that आपको जो संसार में करने की आवश्यकताएं हैं वो आप नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन you will not be doing all of that being pulled and pushed by desire कि अरे मेरे ड्राइंग रूम में तो एक ये इस बार दिवाली में हमको ये करना था, ये तो हमने किया ही नहीं। Not like that. So actually, you know, minimalistic lifestyle ना अश्विनी ऑटोमेटिकली ही आ जाता है। You don't really have to, if you start to understand all of this, minimalism जो है, that is a very simple byproduct of it. If you look at why is this desire coming, why do I want it, then you know where do I want to limit myself. It's okay, I've got 4 pair of clothes and that's enough. ये बड़ी मजेदार बात है। Of late I was studying quite a few people who are termed as successful in the worldly this thing, and there was this interesting revelation that they keep only one type of clothes. सोचना ही नहीं है कि मुझे आज क्या पहनना है। There was this fellow I was talking to, one person who is a memory and focus coach quite a few years ago, 4-5 साल पहले. So he said कि you know Rich, I was going to somewhere at the airport, time था मेरे पास, I needed trousers. So I went to the outlet, इसका shopper stop या कुछ का था. So I said, what trouser do I want? So black. So they gave me one black. 2-3 black दिए. I tried fitting जिसका ठीक लगा. Then I said, इस वाले के 3 पीस दे दो मुझे. So they asked me कि sir color. I said no color, black. So they were like, एक ही ट्राउजर के 3 पीस, सब ब्लैक, एक ही स्टाइल. What is this? He said, no, don't worry. I need black of this only, the same thing, 2 more piece. So he says, मुझे सोचना ही नहीं है कि मुझे आज जीन्स पहनना है, कि किस कलर का ट्राउजर पहनना है, कि उसका मैचिंग शर्ट क्या होगा, कि मैचिंग टी शर्ट क्या होगा. My trousers are always black and I'm very clear on that. So I don't have to even think in that line. So when you are more into pursuing the self-realization path, you're more into looking inward, you're more looking at your vrittis, your biases, your prejudices, you automatically tend to spend less time in all these things. And you say, it's okay, nahi bhi hai to chalta hai. Kya ghat gaya? Kya zyada mil gaya? मैं अगर बिना तैयार होकर के, the so-called तैयार होकर के बाहर चली गई, तो ऐसा क्या मुझे नुकसान हो जाएगा? क्या घट जाएगा? And if I'm going somewhere very decked up, तो मुझे क्या मिल जाएगा? What more gets added to my personality? So minimalism automatically happens. And then, so you cut it from the root. And then he's saying, you have to restrain the group of indriya. So not just one thing. He's asking you to look at all the, and group of indriya means the ज्ञानेन्द्रिय and the कर्मेंद्रिय both. तो आप क्या देखते हो, आप क्या सुनते हो, आप क्या खाते हो, आप क्या चखते हो, महसूस करते हो. Not only that, but how are you using your limbs, the action, the genitals. So all the 10, the 5 Gyanendriyas and the 5 Karmendriyas, you got to restrain all 5 of that. And what does restraining means? Does restraining means that I keep on creating the pressure cooker effect, कि मैं उसको दबाती जाऊं और इतने desires से, इतने desires से. No, you become aware of how it is acting. And the moment you become aware of how it is acting, you would know what to do next of it. You would know how to let it go. You would know how to express it. You would know what would you like to do of it. And that will not be overpowering to you. That will not be overpowering to you. And this is something that you will really have to experience. ये मेरे बोलने से आपको हिम्मत शायद मिल सकती है, बट आपको वाकई पता चलेगा जब आप अपने इंद्रियों जो कूद रही है ना, आप ध्यान से देखते हैं. जैसे फोमो होता है ना, इंस्टाग्राम देख रहे हैं, रुक ही नहीं पाते हैं. यू जस्ट टेल योरसेल्फ, व्हाट एम आई डूइंग, व्हाई एम आई डूइंग सो. स्टॉप. स्टॉप मींस स्टॉप. तो वो बंद हो जाता है. बट टिल द टाइम यू टेल योरसेल्फ, अच्छा 2 मिनट और, अच्छा 2 मिनट और, अच्छा 2 मिनट और, it doesn't stop. So you become aware of how your indriyas are functioning and you restrain that completely, and that too from all the sides. So Krishna is not giving you any scope of any, lacuna, no leaking out. All the indriya from all the sides, giving up all the desires coming from your sankalpa and cutting them all from the root. And once you do this, then gradually, slowly in stages. So what is the stage that you look at? So now because what will happen if you are not doing all that, then when you will sit for meditative practices, they all will come back to you because you have created their energy around you. You have created those energies around you. And so those vibrations are very much there. And the moment you will sit in silence, those vibrations will start to become pronounced. आप जब टीवी में मग्न हैं तो आपको खाने की खुशबू नहीं समझ आएगी. आप जब खाने में मग्न हैं तो उस टाइम पे शायद आपको इंस्टा ना समझ आए, लेकिन आप जैसे ही शांति से बैठेंगे ना, तो वो खाने की खुशबू भी नाक में आएगी, वो इंस्टाग्राम भी आएगा. एवरीथिंग विल स्टार्ट टू क्रॉप अप. लोग कहते हैं ना कि बैठते हैं शांति से तो पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ से ये सारे थॉट्स चले आते हैं. So then you sit with when you sit on meditative practices, then you slowly and gradually. So Paramahansa, sorry, Paramahansa is. I was listening to Sarvapriyananda ji. So what he says is that when it is about shana, there is a gradual process. You start with observing the breath of yours, how it is going and coming and going. Then you go deeper, you go into your mind. Then you go to the another level, which is you look at that faculty of mind which you call as intellect, from which you do all the reasoning, all the logic work. Then you go to the even subtler of it, which is the causal sheath of your mind. And that's where you turn inwards from. So there is a gradual process. All of a sudden, if you sit and you would want to see, I want to get to the Anandamaya Kosh, no, that will not happen. Because the rest of the koshas not being addressed, they will come and they will block your way. So you have to be aware of what am I eating, so that your Annamaya kosha doesn't become an obstacle. आप क्या खा रहे हैं, that will create the rajas or tamas or sattva in your system, which will either enable you or will disable you. So you need to be little mindful about your food. Do you get crazy when you see food? कुछ लोगों के साथ होता है ना, वो खाना देख के अपने आप को रोक ही नहीं पाते हैं, यहाँ तक फल वैसे खाते हैं. It's been years, I think more than 8-10 years that I have eaten, but I used to eat like that. खा करके लगता था गले तक खा लिया, like that. And now the moment the stomach is 3/4 full, I know it's time to stop. There is an automatic thing. I mean, half full, and then there has to be some space for water. So you do not hog on food. कि यार ये तो मेरे पसंद का चाट है, ये तो मेरे पसंद का, ये तो अभी आज इसको तो अच्छे से निपटा के खा लो. So then you take care of your Annamaya Kosh. After that, you become aware of the Pranamaya Kosh. So then you work on the pranas, you do the concentration practices, so that helps you in pratyahara. So that's where you also do pranayams, and that helps you in your next level of practice. Then you become aware of how your mind is functioning. So there is that Manomaya Kosh. You become aware of where all it is taking you to, what all you are thinking, and why are you thinking all of that. And you do not get attached to that. You initially allow it to just pass, and slowly and gradually it starts to get focused. So that's where you enter into dharana, wherein you are able to concentrate or focus on one thing. And then the next steps of dhyana and samadhi would happen. So there is a gradual process. Normally, and as I read about these people, I see people have spent years doing the sadhana. It doesn't happen overnight. So please have faith and be patient. Have faith and be patient. Keep doing your job without asking. I don't know if it's happening or not. I don't know what am I getting. I don't know even if I'm progressing or not. The only thing is, okay, you're not progressing. Are you willing to give the practice up? जैसे जब आप बिना सरेंडर का ये सब करते हैं, तो लोग का जैसे होता है ना कि वो कर्म कांड में लगे हुए हैं, पूजा पाठ, और एक कुछ ऐसा बहुत बड़ा हो गया, मैंने इतनी पूजा की और मेरे साथ ये कर दिया, so now no more पूजा. So then there was no surrender, no faith. If that is how you are doing, कि यार मैं तो पिछले 5 महीने से I'm doing meditation but कुछ होता ही नहीं है. If that be it, you'd better don't do it. Perhaps that may not be your way.
मैम
But when you do it,
मैम एक
you
छोटा सा
sit
मैम
with the
पद्धति भी कोई चीज होती है ना, अगर हम पद्धति सही रखें, जो प्रॉपर इंस्ट्रक्शन करें, तो कुछ चीजें शायद वो थोड़ा सा जल्दी हो जाए, मतलब कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि कब तक, मगर प्रोसेस एंड प्रोसीजर भी शायद कुछ इम्पेक्ट करता है, हेल्प करेगा.
बिल्कुल हेल्प करेगा अभिषेक जी. The only challenge is कि पद्धति क्या है ये मुझे नहीं पता. इस क्षण मेरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अनुसार कौन सी पद्धति सबसे अच्छी है ये मुझे नहीं पता. तो वहां पर ही गुरु का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है. And till the time I haven't reached the right guru, so I will not like to say reach the right guru. I have not been discovered by the guru, क्योंकि हम गुरु को नहीं चुनते हैं. प्लीज रिमेम्बर दिस ऑलवेज. हम गुरु को कभी नहीं चुन सकते हैं, क्योंकि जब हम अपने थॉट प्रोसेस से चुनेंगे, अपने इंटेलेक्ट से चुनेंगे, तो हम वैसा ही गुरु को चुनेंगे जो हमको अपील करता है. जो हमको अपील कर रहा है वो हमारी इंद्रियों को कहीं ना कहीं सुख दे रहा है, तो वो हमारी आइडेंटिटी को और सुदृढ़ कर देगा. That is why a lot of time when the right guru appears, we don't even want to go to them. So you keep preparing yourself until the time you haven't come to the right paddhati. Keep doing what comes your way, because anything that you do is at least doing some cleansing of your system. आपके पूरी संरचना में वो कुछ तो प्रभाव जरूर पैदा करता है. तो छोड़िए मत, और इस तरीके से आप अपने पात्रता पर काम कर रहे हैं तो आपको गुरु भी मिल जाएंगे. The whole thing is you're moving on this path consistently, persistently, with full surrender and faith.
This, I just wanted to share something. So I think I mentioned it to you also, that since last new moon and a week before that, so almost 3 weeks, I haven't been able to consistently do my Reiki practices. But it is not because the time nahi hai. It is not. It just I couldn't do it. But I knew कि कहीं subconsciously कुछ काम हो रहा है. And the last 3 days I was working on my inner child, and I could feel कि कुछ तो change हुआ है. I'm, something, जैसे आपने जैसे बताया कि unburdening. Now I'm able to say कि कुछ हुआ. So I am able to tell myself that meditation doesn't always need to be. It probably led me to here, and now I can go on with it. मतलब कुछ subconscious में हुआ, कुछ conscious. I mean, that's how I am able to make sense of it. That there was a need for me not to sit.
Unlike our worldly status, wherein everything that we do, हमको कुछ तो परिवर्तन दिख ही जाता है, क्योंकि हम संसार में जो कुछ भी करते हैं वो सब स्थूल होता है. तो स्थूल चीजें तो तुरंत दिख जाती है ना, समझ में आ जाता है, क्योंकि हमारी इंद्रियां वही पकड़ पाती हैं. यहाँ पे जो भी परिवर्तन हो रहा है वो सब बहुत सूक्ष्म है, तो आपको तुरंत से समझ में आएगा भी नहीं. डीप रूटेड जब challenges होते हैं ना, तो वो करते 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 it comes to a level wherein you start to recognize, oh my god, I never knew इतना clear हो गया है. So you just keep doing, and all of a sudden one fine day a bud is sprouting every moment. You don't see it opening up, but one fine day there is flower. So this flowering will happen. You have to allow yourself that this keeps on, despite the fact that you do not see any tangible result. And a bigger tangible result is actually the change in your thought process, the change in your behavior, the change in your reactions, more being more responsive, being less agitated, being more balanced. If you want to know the tangible outcomes, these are the outcomes that you will gradually see. Right? So Shana, slowly doing all of this, the above mentioned. Uparati is also the one of the Shat Shampat that Shankaracharya talks of. By the intellect. So that is the only instrument that we have, the mind, the buddhi, the knowledge. So use that for what? It's like the knife is there. What do you want to cut? The apple or you want to kill somebody? We are doing 24th and 25th of chapter 6. So you use this intellect for going beyond the intellect. नेति नेति ज्ञान से ही करते हैं ना, which is your mind. So you do that, and you do that with focused intent and patiently. And every time your mind goes here and there, you bring it back. Okay, you do that patiently. And Krishna says, fixing on Atman. Now, what does it means to be fixing on Atman? To be fixed on Atman. Because we do not know what Atman is. तो हम कहाँ fix करेंगे? So then we fix on the criteria given to us by the rishis, which is, it is infinite, it is everywhere, it is joy, it is bliss, it is truth, and all of that. So you focus on that. And then he says that by doing that, na kinchit api chintayet. You do not even slightly worry. Now, worry is something that will come very easily. मेरा काम नहीं हो रहा है, पता नहीं क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, मैं तो इतना कर रही हूँ, I'm not getting the results. And I'm not getting the results, so my intent at doing that work also goes down. I don't want to do it, यार, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है ना, मन नहीं हो रहा है. I'm feeling very low today. I don't want to do it. क्या है, इतने दिन से कर रहे हैं, कोई रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहा है. And this is very common, very easy. And the same boss, the same kitch, it's an everyday thing. I don't know when will I get out of this rut. These are our general experience. And Krishna is saying that give up all of this chinta. If you are doing what has just been said, if you are doing all of it that has just been said, that you're giving up the vows, giving up the desires from the roots, and you are gradually moving into that zone, patiently fixing on Atman, then you must also give up all the worries. Why? Because when you hold worry, you cannot hold Krishna. They don't go together. Worry is always of the mind. Worry is always of the ego. How can Krishna be there where the ego is? And if you want to realize him, if you want to be with him, then how can you be with something which he is not? So then you have to tell yourself intellectually to begin with that it's all right. It's just a matter of time. And I tell you what, you are tested, you are given tests. If you are really moving on the spiritual path, the tests will come and they will come in a very strong way. Don't expect things to be very hunky-dory. कि यार मैं तो meditate करती हूँ तो मेरे साथ. When I went, I completed the 3rd level in Reiki. My master said, अभी ना जीवन में बहुत उथल पुथल आएगा. Be ready. You are working with an energy. It will have its impact. So a lot of nonsense will go away out of your life. And there will be a lot that will happen. So be ready. So test happens. And you will have to stand by Krishna and give up and agree to give up Dronacharya, Bhishma, and all the cousins. Even if they are your closed relatives. And you say that the way Krishna would take care of me, I will be happy in that. So you will have to tell this to yourself whenever even the slightest of worry arises. Otherwise, worry will keep coming. And this comes especially when things don't happen very strongly. Very, very strongly. So I tell people, a lot of people ask me, what do you do? So I said, I don't know what I do because I do so many things. I've been trying with so many things. Now I'm settled with this. But if you look at me from the worldly perspective, I'm not successful. But then I'm okay with that also. I don't mind not being successful. I'm happy being unsuccessful. मेरा नाम कहीं पे सुनहरे अक्षरों में नहीं लिखा जाएगा और मुझे उससे परेशानी नहीं है.
मैम लिखा जाएगा पहला चीज. दूसरा
अभिषेक लिख रहे हैं.
मैं लिखूंगा. सेकंड थिंग
लिख रहे हैं.
आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट मैम.
So, okay.
Second thing, now what about adhyatmic worry? So there is worldly worry that we all know. Right now, I'm not feeling much of the worldly worries with your blessings. But what about adhyatmic worries? I think I'm dropping here and there some chats, and it's not a worry. It's like मन जो है वो भौतिक बातों में चंचलता की जगह आध्यात्मिक बातों की चंचलता में शिफ्ट हो गया.
जब हम अपने आप को आध्यात्मिक जगत दे देते हैं कि अब संसार नहीं आध्यात्म, तो वरी तो अभी तो अध्यात्म में उतरे हैं नहीं और चिंता करना तो बहुत अच्छे से आता है. तो अभी उधर विंडो शॉपिंग होती थी, अब इधर विंडो शॉपिंग होगी. सो यहां से चिंता हट करके यहाँ पे आ जाएगी. चिंता नहीं खत्म होगी. मतलब वहां भी पहले अहंकार खड़ा था जिसको चिंता होती थी कि मेरे साथ ये दुर्घटना हो जाएगी और वो हो जाएगा और वो हो जाएगा. और यहाँ भी अहंकार खड़ा है जिसको ये चिंता है कि अरे मेरा आध्यात्मिक आगे कुछ नहीं बढ़ रहा है, पता नहीं मेरा क्या होगा, पता नहीं मैं सही कर रहा हूँ कि नहीं कर रहा हूँ, और पता नहीं मुझे कितना समय लगेगा, वगैरह वगैरह. तो दोनों जगह अभिषेक जी अहंकार पूरी तरीके से जमा हुआ है, खड़ा हुआ है. इसीलिए कृष्ण कहते हैं कि अगर आप उपरोक्त तरीके से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं तो चिंता को भी आपको त्यागना होगा डेलिबरेटली. आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि कौन है जो चिंता कर रहा है. कौन है जो कहता है कि कुछ होगा या कुछ नहीं होगा? And then you give up the worry. Giving up the worry is something that we have to deliberately do. Don't expect that to happen. No. Worry is our identity. Worry is our identity. जैसे संसार में कहते हैं हम अपने बच्चे को, तुम्हें पता नहीं माँ का दिल कैसा होता है, चिंता करता है, तो वैसे हम यहाँ कहते हैं कि हे प्रभु मुझे बहुत चिंता हो रही है, मेरा कुछ नहीं हो रहा, आप मुझे दर्शन नहीं दे रहे हो, मेरे मेडिटेशन में कोई चार चांद नहीं लग रहा है. You have to deliberately give that up with full faith that it's okay. मैं यदि किसी मेडिटेटिव प्रोसेस में इन्वॉल्व हूँ तो क्या मैं निष्काम रूप से इन्वॉल्व नहीं हो सकता? फिर तो अगर निष्काम नहीं है तो फिर तो वहां पे गड़बड़ हो ही गई ना. अगर कामना ही नहीं है तो फिर चिंता किस बात की? यदि कामना ही नहीं है तो चिंता किस बात की? और अगर कामना है तो अभी तक आध्यात्मिक बात नहीं घटी है, आध्यात्मिक घटना नहीं घटी है. अभी अहंकार का ही खेल बस रूप परिवर्तित हो गया है. पहले वो दिल्ली में खेलता था, अब वो हिमालय पर खेलता है. बस इतना ही फर्क है.
मैम मगर मैं थोड़ा सा इसमें एक संशय है.
बोलिए ना.
जो अध्यात्म का जो चिंता है वो इट्स नॉट अबाउट, मतलब वो सेल्फ तो है मगर मुझे अभी भी ये नहीं पता वो स्मॉल वाला है या कैपिटल वाला है. बिकॉज जब आप वो जो चिंता है वो दो तरीके की होती है. तो दो, एक हो गई आपकी कि आपको अपने आप को जानना है. और जब आपको अपने आप को जानना है तो बॉडी के साथ भी जानना है. केवल मतलब व्हेन लेट्स से, मतलब कल ही मैंने ये सोच रहा था कि चक्रास पे, तो इफ आई हैव चक्रास एंड दे आर नॉट एक्टिवेटेड देन आई हैव, मतलब शायद मैं अभी अधूरा हूं. या जैसे किसी के पास एक हाथ नहीं है मगर आपके पास इसी, मगर या हाथ है वो काम नहीं कर रहा है, इसी तरीके से आपके पास चक्र है मगर वो काम नहीं कर रहा है. राइट. तो एक माइंड उधर की तरफ भी जाता है, दूसरा एक माइंड जाता है कि वॉट एवर हैपेंस इन अ वर्ल्ड, राइट, इवन दो दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम बट देर आर क्राइज, देर आर पेन्स, राइट, एंड इवन दो विच इज नियर टू यू और फार अवे फ्रॉम, बोथ साइड. सो जो कंपैशन की बात हम करते हैं ना, वो थोड़ा जब बढ़ता है कंपैशन तो वो वरी भी साथ में आ जाती है. मैं थोड़ा सा वो उसमें मैं नहीं हूं, मैं एग्जिस्ट खुद नहीं कर रहा हूं. इसीलिए
तो
मेरा
कौन
डाउट
कर रहा
स्मॉल एस और कैपिटल एस में है.
है? नहीं, मेरे पास चक्रों का तंत्र है और काम नहीं कर रहा है, ये मुझे क्या पता है? ये तो अभी मनगढ़ंत बातें चल रही हैं. और चक्रों के ऊपर कार्य करने से ही चक्र कार्य करेंगे ऐसा नहीं है. देर आर मेनी अदर वेज थ्रू विच दे गेट बैलेंस्ड एंड यू वुड नॉट इवन नो. आप ज्ञान योग पर भी सही रहेंगे और बिल्कुल अडिग रहेंगे और मनन चिंतन निध्यासन करेंगे तो भी उनके ऊपर इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा ना. इट्स जस्ट लाइक हम जैसे कहते हैं ना, जब बॉडी लैंग्वेज की बात करते हैं कि मन और शरीर कनेक्टेड है. सो यू हैव, मैन इज अ साइकोसोमैटिक बीइंग, माइंड एंड बॉडी आर कनेक्टेड. तो जब हम ओपन होते हैं तो नॉर्मली हमारे हाथ बहुत आराम से चलते हैं, क्लोज्ड होते हैं तो हम ऐसे हो जाते हैं. And then you read body language and you say that this is what's happening in the mind. So there are incidences wherein they will ask you to change your body posture because that changes your mindset for a while. जैसे आप अच्छा एकदम से सीधे बैठ जाइए तो एकदम अटेंशन आ जाता है, बहुत थोड़ी देर के लिए आता है पर आता है. So you would not know that how which part of your system is getting impacted. फाइनल रिजल्टेंट तो किसी भी सिस्टम का यही से समझ में आता है कि आपका रिस्पॉन्स क्या है, आप कितने स्थित प्रज्ञ हैं, आप कितने बैलेंस्ड हैं, कितने पॉइस्ड हैं, कितने सरेंडर में हैं। फाइनल रिजल्ट बस यही से समझ आएगा, और कोई इस तरीका नहीं होता है। आप कभी भी चक्रों को भेद करके नहीं ढूंढ पाएंगे कि ये चल रहे हैं कि नहीं चल रहे हैं, पता नहीं। You can't do that. And your thoughts are creating energy, and relevant chakras are pulling those energies. So by creating those thoughts, you're already disturbing your system of chakra. That we'll discuss in detail in the class, but to just give you the understanding. So don't get stuck with, see, that's a system that's there to support us. If it is making you stuck, then there is a problem. It is supposed to make you easy. It is supposed to make you more free rather than become hooked with that.
Ma'am, what about compassion? I think Vidya also raised hand, but what about compassion?
क्या प्रॉब्लम है कंपैशन में?
अगर किसी और को पेन है और वो एक वरी क्रिएट कर रहा है,
वो वरी नहीं क्रिएट करना चाहिए। अगर किसी और को पेन है तो जो आवश्यक है, जो उचित है, वो मैं करूंगा, और उससे ज्यादा मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? एंड देन आई विल प्रे। जितनी आवश्यकता है मैं उतना ध्यान धरूंगा। साथ में रहने की आवश्यकता है, अस्पताल जाने की आवश्यकता है, दवाई देने की आवश्यकता है, ड्रेसिंग कराने की आवश्यकता है, वट एवर इज नीडेड, राइट, डाइट की आवश्यकता है, आई विल डू ऑल दैट एंड देन आई सरेंडर अबाउट व्हाट हैज टू हैपन। उस व्यक्ति का भी अपना प्रारब्ध है ना, आप उसको थोड़ी बदल पाएंगे। उनकी भी एक यात्रा है ना, आप उस यात्रा को कैसे इम्पैक्ट करेंगे? So compassion only says that let me do what is necessary and what I can do to the best of my capability, and I surrender it to thee. That's all. Compassion tells you there is no need to judge that person. There is no need to feel biased, prejudiced about that person. That's it. ठीक है? हाँ विद्या बताइए।
I struggle with the same thing with the compassion, which now I label it. I have to kind of reflect: am I getting entangled, or is this compassion? And I
You get
think,
entangled.
yeah. So now what I have done is, I mean, the best thing that's working for me is ever since I have done Reiki, I have combined this practice with that. So whenever I feel like I'm getting entangled, I take a step back emotionally and I just do Reiki on those people with compassion, that may it help them in any situation that they are. And then I do it on me as well, just to keep me more calm and I don't get sucked into it. So
Yes,
I just
that's
want
what I
to
was do it on yourself
Yeah.
first, that
Yes, yeah.
I can stay in that distance without judging and feeling biased. At the same time, do not get entangled, and then you support them with healing.
Yeah, no, it's working like magic. So the judgment gets removed right away from the situation. Like if you're holding someone responsible across because they are going through this suffering because of this, the whole story just disappears because you're only centered in just in that part.
Yes. Compassion never makes you stupid again, you know. So, for example, I have a very good friend or say some relative, and they are in trouble. So what should I do? Out of compassion, I just go and help them and don't even see my capability and overburden myself, and then I get into that worry, how do I handle that? Is that compassion? No, that's not. That's ego that wants to say that, hey, you can do it. And you must do it. So there is an image that being this is your job. Being a friend, this is your job. Being a mother, this is your job. Being a sister, this is your job. And you're adhering to that image of it. And then doing whatever. So that's not compassion. It's strengthening of identity. It's ego. You're operating from the space of ego. Yeah. We'll stop here, and any further questions?
There is a beautiful technique in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We did it, I guess. 1.33 Maitri Karuna Mudita Upekshanam. Maitri towards Sukhi, compassion towards Dukhi, and how you feel. You need not involve in that. But then you have to observe your feelings when you see some Dukhi person around you or whatever.
Everything that happens is an opportunity for you to reflect on yourself. Every situation. Instead of asking कैसे करें, ask ये मैं क्यों घुस रही हूँ? What in me is compelling me to enter into it? What is breeding this feeling? What in me is expecting something because of which I am behaving this way? Question that.
ये जो आप कह रहे हो ना, ये what in me, who in me, इसका तो आंसर हमेशा ईगो ही होगा ना. So that doesn't help me because I know the answer. So what
You know the answer intellectually, but the moment you will catch, oh, the mother is playing this, oh, the daughter is playing this, then you will smile at yourself. वो होगा ईगो, ये इंटेलेक्चुअली आपको पता है, पर क्या आप वहां तक स्टेप बाय स्टेप पहुंचे हैं? क्या आपने अपने उस ईगो, उस आइडेंटिटी को पकड़ा है कि ये क्या खेल चल रहा है?
हाँ, so coming to this, क्या खेल चल रहा है? What has been helping me? I don't know if it's right or wrong. I try and go back to okay, why am I scared? When was the first time I felt scared? मतलब वो childhood. I keep trying to go back to that childhood, and then I embrace that childhood me who felt fear at some point maybe. That helps me क्योंकि ये ईगो तक पहुंच के फिर I am not able to solve anything. है ईगो, अब क्या करूं? अब then I don't know what to do next.
So, okay, if that is helping you, that you reach to that child where it happened, fine. What you do is you detach yourself from being that child. You're no more Ashwini that child. You are Ashwini somebody else. So वो खेल कहानी खत्म हो गई ना. That was a role play, किरदार था, उसका हुआ ड्रामा, खत्म हो गया. यहाँ पे when you reach to that identity which is playing game, you become aware that you are not that identity and you are getting entangled with that identity and you are assuming that identity to be true for yourself, and you are behaving in accordance with that identity as to what that identity demands you to do or demands you not to do. And so you are getting stuck in that identity. So then you say, I am not that. I am not the mother. I free myself of being the mother. That doesn't mean that you do not care for the child. That only means you do not come from the space wherein you say, hey, I am the mom, and to the child, if this needs to be said that, who is the mom? I am. So you got to listen to me. That is fine. But to yourself, you are able to say, it's okay, yaar. I don't have to be that mom. Mom is supposed to be this. No, I'm not this. And it's perfectly all right. And my not being this mom doesn't make me less caring for the child. Rather, you become a better mom for the child. You will see that as a child grows, you will not come from the space. देखा, मैंने कहा था ना तुमको, तुम तो मेरी बात सुनती नहीं हो ना, इसलिए ऐसा हो जाता है. You will never say, you'll never find yourself saying, देखा मैंने कहा था. You will rather say, okay, it happens. Now you know. So now you will be more aware. You will be more sensible. You will be wiser. I'm hoping this incident has made you wiser. So there will be no comparative state, and that's where you create that safe space for the child, wherein the child can talk to you everything, because the child knows that the child is not being judged with you. You're not comparing the child all the time. And when the need of compare is, do go ahead and say, you said you will get this much of marks, but you have got this much of marks. So how is this gap coming up? What's the reason, and what would you like to do about it? So that's a standard comparison. It's not a comparison of identity. This is a statistical comparison, factual comparison. That would be needed. You will be doing it, but you will not be saying, "Yeah, तुम तो हमेशा ऐसे ही कहती हो, तुम्हारा कभी कुछ होता ही नहीं है." Not like that. Yeah, Abhishek ji.
Yes, ma'am. Same the identity question, right? I was reflecting back to last week and prior to last week's one discussion. There was one word came called anger. So now in a process of a journey, okay, when we are talking about compassion and all those things, dissolving of anger is a first step, because what I'm seeing together, right, whomsoever, those who have worked on the path, slowly the anger dissolves. And when there is no anger, I think is it a what you say, kind of a, because my problem is validation, so it is kind of a validation that whether you are a father or a mother or a pedestrian or a boss or whatsoever, चलता है, ठीक है, ऐसा हो गया, जाने दो, अब कुछ नहीं, अब आगे की बात करते हैं. सो जो एंगर जो बर्स्ट होता है, अगर वही खत्म होने लगे या खत्म ही हो जाए, सो इज इट बी कॉल्ड दैट यू, मतलब इज इट called an improvement, or is it still a भ्रम or a भाव? Because my question is also, ये भ्रम है या भाव है?
प्रकृति में हर चीज के लिए उपयुक्त स्थान है, तो क्रोध के लिए भी है. परशुराम तो बहुत क्रोध करते थे ना, दुर्वासा ऋषि तो बहुत क्रोध करते थे ना. That's how we know them. तो क्या दुर्वासा ऋषि नहीं थे? परशुराम को तो विष्णु अवतार कहते हैं. अस्तित्व में हर चीज के लिए उपयुक्त स्थान है. जहां पर क्रोध करने की आवश्यकता है, क्रोध भी कीजिए, पर आपको पता होना चाहिए कि अभी क्रोध कर लिया, उसी से चिपके तो नहीं रह गए, आगे बढ़ गए कि नहीं बढ़ गए. अब क्रोध करके उसके बाद हम गिल्टी हो रहे हैं कि यार फालतू में, आई शुडंट हैव गॉट एंग्री, I shouldn't have done this and I should have done that. I should have checked before. If you are that aware and you are that conscious, and there is a need to be angry, please go ahead and do it. People do tend to take you right on right if you don't. So I give 5 opportunities for the other person to not behave with me in certain way. The 6th time I will show you. Am I a doormat that you will keep walking over me? No, you can't take me for granted. So there is a very thin line to understand. And please stand for yourself. जिसके पास खड़े हो पाने की क्षमता नहीं होती है ना, वो अध्यात्म के लिए कृष्ण के साथ भी खड़े नहीं हो पाएगा. पहले खड़े होना तो सीख लीजिए, तो कृष्ण के साथ भी खड़े होने की क्षमता आएगी. जब खड़े ही होना नहीं सीखेंगे ना, तो हमें बस डर लगेगा हमें लगेगा अगर ये मैंने कर दिया तो इसका क्या निष्कर्ष निकलेगा, इसका क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंस होगा, इसका क्या रिपरकशन होगा। आप खड़े हो जाइए कि अब जो होगा आन दे। यहाँ हरियाणा में ट्रक्स चलती हैं, आन दे लिखा होता है पीछे में, व्हाटएवर, आन दे। बट आई विल डू इट एंड आई विल टेक द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस। लड़ाई के मैदान में जब जाते हैं तो मार सकते हैं और मारे जा भी सकते हैं ना। क्या मारे जाने के डर से युद्ध नहीं करते? कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस की कोई गारंटी नहीं होती है। बट when you operate from fear, you can never play in the field properly.
So मैम,
So let me
एंगर विदाउट एंगर फियर के साथ नहीं चलेगा। दीज आर द टू सेपरेट थिंग्स। अगर आप फियर की वजह से एंगर या
fear
उसके
के साथ तो कुछ भी नहीं
कुछ
चलेगा।
भी
Why
नहीं
only
चलेगा
anger?
ना। हाँ, why
Fear
only
के
anger?
साथ
It is not even compassion, right? So
no.
anger with मतलब means a just anger, मतलब what just means सही anger, right? So a correct anger is a correct, but with just anger there is no fear also. There might be consequences, but because of the fear of the
There will be
consequences,
consequences. No, might be.
there will
There will
be.
be
There will be.
consequences. Yeah.
But it has to be just anger, right?
Anger is only anger. अब उसमें आगे पीछे क्या है? Just anger depends आपका सेंटर ऑफ ऑपरेशन क्या है। अगर सेंटर ऑफ ऑपरेशन ईगो है तो कोई भी एंगर जस्ट नहीं होगा। सेंटर ऑफ ऑपरेशन ईगो नहीं है तो एंगर ऑटोमेटिकली जस्ट ही होगा। आप किसी को कुछ साबित करने के लिए गुस्सा नहीं दिखा रहे हैं, आप किसी को कुछ दिखाने के लिए गुस्सा नहीं दिखा रहे हैं। द सिचुएशन इज सच, so I need to show anger. I will be angry. लज्जा पिक्चर आई थी ना, उसमें लास्ट one of the last scenario when that this man is on the stage who has been very disrespectful to females, जो डैनी डिंजोपा ने प्ले किया था। एंड वो एक नेता चुनाव के लिए खड़ा हो रहा है एंड ही इज एड्रेसिंग द क्राउड एंड समथिंग दैट हैपेंस एंड देन ही सेज लज्जा नहीं आती क्या? ही सेज टू, आई थिंक मनीषा कोइराला को बोलता है, किसी को बोलता है। तो ऑल द लेडीज आर देयर लाइक साइलेंट, सन्नाटा मार दिया कि यार ये तो इसे तो हमारे ऊपर क्वेश्चन कर दिया कि लज्जा नहीं आती क्या। एंड देन मनीषा कोइराला शाउट्स, आती है लज्जा, लज्जा आती है कि तुम्हारे इतने इसके बाद भी हम सब शांत खड़े हैं और तुमको सुन रहे हैं एंड वी आर अलाउइंग यू टू स्पीक। आती है लज्जा कि इतना कुछ होने के बाद भी वी डिड नॉट टेक एनी स्टेप। एंड देन देयर इज सीरीज ऑफ डायलॉग टू दिस। सो फॉर द राइट थिंग यू मस्ट गेट एंग्री। For the right thing, you must get angry.
Sometimes anger takes you to action. जैसे आपने जो अभी example दिया, for example, the wars that are happening or things, if you get angry, then it can spur you to action. But if अगर आपने ego से function किया तो वो anger is not worth it. But if your anger,
you will not function because of the tamas in you. And you don't want to take any action because you are fearful of the consequences. You are too lazy to take any action कि यार छोड़ दे यार। हम करते हैं ना कई बार, छोड़ो ना। तो जब छोड़ो ना कह रहे हैं तो पता होना चाहिए कि कब कह रहे हैं। यदि दुर्योधन के लिए छोड़ो ना कह रहे हैं तो फिर तो भाई जितनी बार छोड़ो ना करोगे उसके भी हिम्मत बढ़ते ही जाएंगे। So you will have to jump into the battlefield. Life is not supposed to be bed of roses. आप यहाँ पर आए हैं क्योंकि वृत्तियां हैं, डिजायर्स हैं, कामनाएं हैं. आप हर क्षण या तो उस एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड में लड़ रहे हैं या आप इंटरनल वर्ल्ड में लड़ रहे हैं. तो युद्ध तो लगातार ही बना हुआ है. यहाँ भी तो पूरा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चलता ही रहता है ना, तब शांति होती है. तो युद्ध तो लगातार ही बना हुआ है. लाइफ इज सपोज टू बी बैटल फील्ड ओनली. और बैटल फील्ड का मजा ही तब है जब आप अच्छे से पूरे शिद्दत से 100% योद्धा बन के लड़ जाओ. तभी युद्ध भूमि की गरिमा बचती है. नहीं तो आए कीड़े मकोड़ों की तरह चले गए, उतना ही बचता है. डोंट सेव योरसेल्फ. डोंट सेव योरसेल्फ कि अगर मैंने ये कर दिया तो वो हो जाएगा. Every time you take a important, bold step towards your swadharma, it builds your muscles. It gives you more courage. It gives you more faith. It helps you being in more surrender mode. And it surely kills your rajas and tamas also. And that battle should not fuel your ego कि देखो मैं तो लड़ती हूँ, मैं छोड़ती थोड़ी हूँ. No, not that like that. Where is it's needed, I will surely fight. And I'll fight with my total, and I will not mind let people say whatever they want to say. Let the society do whatever it wants to do. That's never in my control. But I'll not stop acting because society will do so and that. Don't save yourself. This I constantly tell myself, constantly. There are a lot of moments wherein I start to like, yaar ye main karoon ki nahi karoon, I don't know. And then I said, it's okay. What will happen? What's the worst? Let it happen. Don't save yourself. When you save yourself, you will always have a lot of guilt. You will regret.
आपने ना थोड़ी देर पहले you had said something कि you are not successful from in the normal sense. This is my belief कि जो भी हाँ the worldly sense. तो ये जो anybody मतलब this is what I feel कि जो भी इस path पे निकलता है to find answers within, उसके लिए जो time effort लगता है और जो आप path choose करते हो तो you will not have that much time to build like a career in the normal sense. वो तो होगा ही नहीं.
नहीं, why are you taking it for granted? ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. You could be doing something and that could be very profound. Don't get into any box कि इसमें तो ऐसा ही होगा, उसमें तो वैसा ही होगा. Anything is possible. और प्रकृति में, अस्तित्व में सब परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन चलते हैं. ये सब बोल करके कई बार जो है ना हम अपने आप को कंसोल कर लेते दैट इट्स ओके यार, कमर्शियली नहीं सक्सेसफुल हो बिकॉज ऐसा ही होना है. तो एंड नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज आई विल नॉट ट्राई फॉर इट ओनली. पूरी अपने आप को उसमें झोंकूंगी ही नहीं. आई विल सेव माई सेल्फ.
मैम करेक्ट मी इफ यू आर रॉन्ग. आई हैव
बोलिए अभिषेक जी.
सो सक्सेस ऑन अ वर्ल्ड, एक भौतिक, मतलब अगर तीनों को आध्यात्मिक भौतिक दैविक को अलग करें तो भौतिक में सक्सेस की तो कोई लिमिट नहीं है. एलॉन मस्क भी अपनी कुछ चीजें चाह रहा होगा, उसकी कार नहीं बन रही या उसका स्पेस नहीं बन रहा. आपकी सक्सेस वर्ल्डली कभी भी कंप्लीट नहीं हो सकती वो अनटिल अनलेस, एक तरीके से ये मतलब अगर कहा भी जाए तो सक्सेस क्या है, वो सक्सेस जो आपकी नहीं है वो बाकी सबकी सक्सेस है. जैसे महर्षि रमन, उन्होंने जब बोला कि हु एम आई, उसमें उनकी सक्सेस से ज्यादा हम सब लोगों की सक्सेस है। तो वहां पे वो एक वर्ल्डली सक्सेस मानी जा सकती है। मैं बताइए मैं रॉन्ग बोल रहा हूँ, मगर आध्यात्मिक की सक्सेस तो फिर वो कैपिटल एस पे ही है।
ऑब्वियसली आध्यात्मिकता में सक्सेस फेलियर जैसा कुछ होता ही नहीं है।
हाँ वही मतलब क्योंकि बार बार में कैपिटल एस में नो फेल और नो विन वाली कहानी है, क्योंकि यू आर नॉट, मतलब आप फेल हो गए क्या अंत में? फिर वही क्वेश्चन आता है ना कि अंत में तो आप आत्मन हो, तो आप फेल कैसे होगे और पास कैसे होगे? तो वो तो क्वेश्चन ही खत्म है कि अध्यात्म में आप फेल और पास नहीं हो सकते। बट हाँ, वर्ल्डली
आध्यात्मिक
का मतलब
यात्रा
क्या है?
में आध्यात्मिक यात्रा में जब तक आप पूरे तरीके से डिसॉल्व नहीं हो गए हैं, आपका विगलन नहीं हो गया है, तब तक तो एक एंटिटी खड़ी ही रहेगी ना, जो जानना चाहेगी कि किस दिशा में जा रहे हैं, कुछ रिजल्ट आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है। तो वो उसके पास डुअलिटी में स्केल होता है कि यस नॉट यस, यस नॉट यस, यस नॉट यस। तो वो खेल चलता रहेगा। वो एक खेल है, उसको खेल जितना ही महत्व दीजिए, उससे ज्यादा महत्व मत दीजिए। Sheel ji is saying, is body to a vritti? Yes, body is also a vritti. Anything else? शरीर तो बहुत ही बड़ी वृत्ति है। शरीर को वृत्ति हम क्यों कह रहे हैं? देखिए, शरीर का अपना पूरा तंत्र है, वो एक तरीके से चलती है, उसका अपना फोर्स है, उसको कब भूख लग रहा है, कब कब प्यास लग रही है, वो गुणों पे आधारित है ना। गुण भी तो एक प्रकार की वृत्ति ही है, तभी तो कृष्ण गुणातीत होने के लिए कहते हैं। दोषों पर आधारित है, वात पित्त कफ। तो शरीर पर विजय प्राप्त करने का अर्थ ही ये होता है कि शरीर के खेल चल रहे होंगे, लेकिन मैं उनसे इन्फ्लुएंस्ड नहीं हूं, प्रभावित नहीं। ठीक है।
Thank
एनीथिंग
you,
एल्स?
Richa ji.
थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Great.
चलिए, then let's sit straight. If you know, you can chant along or just be. Take a deep breath. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.